Hi, my name is Devin Lamfresh from Nationwide Children's Hospital. I would encourage you to be even more qualifying with saying that if a copy number variant on an array is inherited from a parent, I wouldn't necessarily say probably benign. There are more and more studies coming out showing that some of these disorders, especially things like autism and MR, may actually turn out to be susceptibility disorders. So even though probably is a good qualifier, I think I would even hedge even more now as more and more data comes out.
Sorry, is this on? That's a really good comment, and we really appreciate that. And one more thing, it's just to please provide more information about the parents, because a lot of time we don't get anything on the parents, and so it is a very vague, I know what you're talking about, that it's a typed, scripted enter in there.
Interested to see all the comparison, and it was very, very nice how you had presented it. But I was intrigued that why would you think that it's more appropriate only when you're suspecting UPD, because loss of heterozygosity or run of homozygosity could be related with the recessive disorders as we have seen, because it could be identical by state, identical by descent, and we have been able to see, because of the genotyping data, mosaicism up to the level of 5%. So,
I don't think that necessarily that it's not clinically only relevant for UPD, but I also know that we've had a lot of referrals that are not confirming, like really, really small abnormalities. So I think, I'm not here to stand on a podium and say which is better, but I think for the application that is obvious, it's for UPD, but obviously I think it's going to pick up in general microdeletion duplications. I realize that, but there are some things that it may not pick up that you're going to pick up somewhere else on a whole genome scan with a smaller probe spacing and a different, like a set backbone. We're not currently offering it, and we're just in the beginning stages. So if you have specific more like questions, I think probably I would defer to our cytogenetics specialists. I don't feel really qualified at this point to go over all of the details of it. So that's why it was a very brief point in my talk.
Yeah, it's a new technology, but it's been amazing from what our experience has been. So.
Hi, I'm Sarah Ennis. I work at DuPont Hospital for Children in Delaware. It was a really nice presentation. I have one comment about the Human Genome Mutation Database, the HGMD. It is available without a license, but it's a lesser version. So it's the non-professional version, and it's, I think, 3 years old, so anything in the past 3 years has not been added to that version. I found it somewhat useful even without the professional version, although it is missing some of the mutations. And I had a question if you have a favorite splicing prediction tool. There's some listed, but I didn't know if you have one that you prefer over the others.
We really don't, we have 2 or 3 that we use. Really, it's the second analyst who will run the models and just provide us with the data. If you'd like to know which models we're using, please send me an email. I just don't have them off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
That's okay, thank you.
Sure.
I just wanted to make a quick comment too about HGMD for those of you who are using it. Just be aware that the publications that are listed in there are the initial reports of that particular mutation, so it doesn't, it's generally not a comprehensive list of the many times a mutation's been reported. So often actually Google can be really useful because you can pull up, or PubMed sometimes as well, will actually give you a list of all of the publications. That can be important. We've had issues sometimes with something that was initially reported as a mutation, and later studies have questioned whether it's truly a mutation versus a polymorphism, and all you see in HGMD is the listing and it looks like a mutation. But when you actually dig further into the more recent literature, you start finding that they've identified it in unaffected individuals or that it's common in the general population, and there's speculation it may be a benign polymorphism. So just kind of a caution about HGMD.
Thank you all for coming.
Yes, thank you.